So what we really want to talk about is real time, but not real time in that sense, because real time is interactive. It is doing lots of different processes, like we saw in that quiz there. But I don't really want to go into how we can do it from an interactive perspective. I want to do it really and look at it from a customer satisfaction perspective. And can we use real time to help with customer satisfaction? Okay, so we're going to look at a bit of research a live person did last year on abandonment rates in online purchases. And what we found over 5,000 people surveys, 83% of online shoppers needed support to complete their purchase. Now that seems really high, but apparently that's what the survey showed. A lot of those questions were about delivery costs, lack of information. Maybe it's a technical product. Maybe it's, does this work with X, Y, and Z? Or just maybe it's a complex or expensive sell and they want to speak to someone. Then Forrester did some research on what communication channels create the most satisfaction. And sort of not surprisingly, really, it was a phone at the highest satisfaction rate, 69%, closely followed by live chat, 63%. Now, that's probably not very surprising. I think once you engage in a live conversation, whether it's over chat or whether it's over the phone, you are most likely to resolve it because it's a two-way conversation. It's a real-time conversation. So web serve service came in at 58%, virtual agents at 55%. Now, I don't think that's necessarily a representation of a problem with the technology, but more about a content strategy. You've got to constantly update content, and I think that's the difficulty, the challenges with that sort of service. And then the other communication channels, things like Twitter, etc., are again similarly low. And I think again the problem with that is that people are, or companies don't have a process yet that everyone's adopted. So again, a lot more could be done, as Samir was saying earlier. It's interesting, and I think if customer satisfaction over the phone is the highest, it's only 69%, that says it's not perfect, that's for sure. So if it's far from perfect, 69% of customers said they were on hold too long when waiting for a company. I think we've all experienced that, on hold, waiting through, listening to some nice music, and maybe getting sold something else when you're just frustrated. You get a very high abandonment rate of IVRs. So an IVR is when you're pressing 1 for this, press 2 for that, you know, too many questions, too many layers. And then 84% of customers are frustrated when you actually get through to a representative. They don't have all this account information ready and available. So what frustrates me the most is get your card out, 16-digit number, type it in, sorry it's incorrect, type it in again, okay, get through his time, date of birth, get through, someone picks up the phone, what's the first question they ask you? Can I have your large card number, please? I'm like, I just gave you that. Surely you can't tie these things together, that's just frustrating. So if we're going to interact with people on the phone, we're going to make the effort to do that, and surely we want to increase that customer satisfaction of doing that. And from a sales perspective, we want to increase the sales order value. And I'm here today to talk about sales order values and sales using this process, not customer services, which is a different topic for another day. So whether you've got a small sales team with like half a dozen salespeople, that's actually our Infinity sales team. We're B2B, we're quite small, or whether like some of our customers, we've got huge call centers with hundreds of operators. Effectively, if you're going to get someone on the phone, then you need to empower your sales team with real-time caller insight. So what do we mean by real-time caller insight? Well, I'll come back to that in a minute, but I'm going to take you through a little scenario just to set the scene. Two different people want to go to the same destination. Start off, as many of us do, on Google with a little search, luxury New York. Sounds nice. Okay, so they land on a website. I know nothing about it. This website knows nothing about them at all yet. Maybe we know they want to go on holiday. It's a travel website, so hopefully we can infer that at least. Now, if we're being a little bit smart as marketers, I'm sure we're all doing this. For that PPC keyword, we're going to be deep linking them. So, okay, I know we're in New York. We've deep linked to New York. That's great. We understand that. We're starting to get a small profile on this user. Then, browsing around a bit. Oh, I find the Ritz-Carlton, nice 5-star hotel, looking out over the bay, Statue of Liberty. This is good, building more of a profile of this user. Now, we're all collecting site data. Everyone's doing this, whether it's using Google Analytics or other analytics systems, web trends, Omniture, it doesn't really matter what you use. We've all been doing that. We should have certainly all be doing it, and have been for quite some time. That's the easy bit. We've got that data. But if we're going to get this person on the phone, because they're not sure quite what they want, let's say they, has that really got a view over the Statue of Liberty, or is it facing into the city? Is there any other 5-star hotels around the area that may be appropriate? So what do? Got questions that are not easy to find within a website, pick up the phone, call. And this still happens a hell of a lot, especially with expensive travel type bookings. So once you get through to a sales operator, unless I can give them that analytics data in real time, and I don't know if you've ever seen a salesperson try to log into GA before, but it's not pretty. That data is in real time, as they just can't use it. So effectively, they haven't got it. So the way a salesperson works with that is I've got to create some context. So I start asking questions naturally. Where would you like to go? When would you like to go? Okay, that weekend after next to New York. Great. And then they go into a generic script of how they've been taught to sell in a product for New York. And the problem with that is it didn't know the context. It didn't know that person, no point offering a special offer to that person if they're looking at a 5-star hotel. They're not price sensitive. They're far more likely to be upsold. But that's the only data you've got. So it's the only way you can go. So at the end of that call, was that customer satisfied? Or just frustrated because it took ages to get to the point? Was the upsell utilised? Possibly not. Possibly, but I'm sure it could have been better. Just handling that call faster and more efficiently would be helpful. Upselling a bit more. You're talking about a whole call centre. Just 10%, 5% differences can make huge, huge bottom line differences. Okay, so scenario B, same destination, totally different type of person. New York, cheap break. Again, landlord site, don't know anything about them. Deep link, we hope. Bang, New York. This time on the special offers section, very price sensitive, not fussed about where they are, long as it's sort of walking distance. This person's got some questions, they're not sure, pick up the phone again, top level of satisfaction. Make a phone call through. Let's say is it walking distance to Times Square? Do I get breakfast included in that? Actually, I'll have anything in that area. I don't really mind. It's about special offers. But I get through to the operator. Again, operator's got no context. Has to go into this whole question time again. Same generic script. But if I only knew this person was budget orientated, you could deal with the call more efficiently. Now, there's 3 key pieces of information that we found out on that last one. New York, cheap break, budget, keyword. If only we can get those simple 3 pieces of data into the salesperson at the right time. Not 2 days later, but at that point of first contact. Well, this is where caller insight comes in. Let's assume a salesperson picks up the phone and a screen pops up and it has that key bits of information. So we've got New York cheap break, flagged actions, which could be a special offers page, New York page. If that sales operator had that, suddenly I can have a conversation which is far more in context, far more engaging with that end user. Not to the point that I'm saying, I just seen you've looked at New York, but more to the point of I can just jump on to the right track. And that person is saying, they're really helpful. They just really got what I wanted. And that's sort of the trick really, is to make people feel more engaged. So not only can they deal with that call more efficiently, they can hopefully create much better satisfaction because they can get to the point and talk about the things that particular customer wants. The first scenario we looked at with luxury New York. Again, so if you're going to go through that standard script, I'm not going to start talking about special offers. This person is not price sensitive. They're looking at 5-star. This is an upgrade opportunity. So if I can take this and we'll look at a nice suite upgrade, or let's look at this extra upgrade, or we can pick you up from the hotel, whatever it may be. If I suddenly got this data in context, I can be winning straight away. So call centers are extremely expensive to run. People are extremely expensive commodities. So if you're going to invest in a call center, or if you have one already, and you're using a phone number on your site as part of your strategy, which so many companies are, and I only implore you do more of that, not because I run a call tracking company, but just because it's sensible, that if you're going to do that, make sure when people talk to you, you get the most out of them. And I think if you can basically embrace that, you can transform the way you interact with customers over the phone. And by doing that, you could effectively reduce call handling time. If you did 10% across the board of reducing your call handling time, then you could deal with 10% more call volume. So the people who are dropping off, waiting in that queue, could suddenly be working and talking to customers. So that can make a massive difference. Small details can make a big difference on this sort of scale. So the thing is, this technology is becoming available sort of now. So if it's not something you've ever looked into or ever heard of, then it's something you should do. Early adopters will get in there. I believe in 2 or 3 years' time, everyone will be using this. Okay? I'm Paul Walsh. Thank you very much.